breath. I can't get out of bed. Hon är aldrig nöjd, vad jag än nu gör. Hon är här på stranden är vida, lever la vida. Här på solen upp för mig. För att du finns, för att du kan. Du leder vågorna. I can't go on, I can't go on. When you look this jag kan klara mig själv, kan gå ut varje kväll, komma hem där jag cry in my heart. I told that there's a fire on the horizon and the spark.
Ja, jag reser mig igen. Ja,
You think I might be waiting for lightly, needing someone to satisfy.
What good is love when it's over? What good is love?
Every day, every night, every time you make it alright. Gotta stay cool. Through the fire and the rain, fire, rain, rain. It took one look and you have my heart. You time I
Jag har också tappat ibland och snabbt försökt komma ikapp. Jag har också sett när det faller.
Om du blir min fru ska jag ta dig här och nu. Om du inte kan får du.
don't stop believing, don't stop believing.
För du är speciell och het som eld och du är sensuell, det är vi ikväll och du har allting man kan drömma.
I'm out of breath. I don't need to know whose heart is gonna fall. Så håll om mig, släpp inte taget om mig. Till them all I know now, shout it from the rooftops. Right. Fan vad bra, stopp på stationen, där är du, ska du hem. Fan vad bra, är det för shit? Won't you sing for me someday? Sing. I am the fire burning desperately.
Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. Wow, it's Melodifestivalen time. I hope you're excited. We are very, very excited. I mean, it's the premiere show of all of Eurovision world, isn't it? Every year, everyone looks forward to Melodifestivalen. We certainly do. We have spent this week bringing you content live from Stockholm, all the way from SVT headquarters. And our main man on the scene, Gustav, was there interviewing the various 13 or so acts. And you can catch that now live from our YouTube channel. Just go and check it out. It's ESC Fan TV. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're going to have a real ball. We're going to get into all 28 Melodifestivalen entries. We are going to give our opinions. We're going to run down who might be the favourites for the 7th of March next year and who we think might surprise and perhaps pull off a shock. Like, for instance, is Sweden going to choose a female artist this year? Who knows? Let's get into it. So, first of all, bit of housekeeping. You know the drill by now. Make sure you click that like button. Make sure you click subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, escfantv.com. or just hashtag ESC Fan TV in YouTube. You will find us. Make sure you click the like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. And also, if you're on Twitter, the same applies. But the most important thing is this is for the fans, by the fans. So make sure you send your comments through to us on the chat and we will read them out to you. Right, what's next? Oh yeah, don't forget you can also listen to us on your way to work. We run this as a podcast too. So we will record this and download it for you so you don't have to. And we are available on all good podcast providers. That includes Apple Podcast, that includes Spotify and Stitcher, of course. I think it's time we meet our guests, shall we? Let's see who we have on the show tonight. So from left, oh look, it's Tom again. Look, he's waving at you. He's waving at you. But let's going to start with Elliot. Elliot, how are you, my friend?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you feeling that Dolly Style aren't back though, Stuart? That's what I want to know.
Oh, God, you've got to bring a downer to it already. But
Well, might as well get it out of the way.
they never really left Elliot. Hey, you can catch Elliot on Twitter at erharris76. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Going to ignore my co-host until the very, very last because he loves that. Of course, he loves it. Look at him. Look at him smiling over there. When it come down to on my left, sort of. Let's see if I can get the camera. It's that way, isn't it? It's not. It's not. It's sod it. This is Martin from the Let Me Be the One blog.
Sorry about that. Take myself off mute. Yes, that's
exactly.
Help, won't it? Hi everyone. Hi to everyone on the panel and everyone watching. So yeah, I'm back, and it's Melodifestivalen. So I'd never thought I'd actually be doing this, but you buggers have got me all hooked. So I watched the announcement totally live, so I know what's going on for a change.
Yes, you love it. You absolutely love Melody. Don't ignore Martin. I know last year he complained bitterly that we made him sit through all 4 heats, but he loved every second of it. Right below me, or under me, as it should be, it is the lovely Aline. You can find Aline on Twitter at AlineDRM. Aline, how are you? You're on mute as well.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy Melodifestivalen started again, so everything's great. Yeah.
Life's good again, isn't it? The world just gets better the moment the Swedes start talking about Eurovision. Anyway, good to have you on the show. And on our sort of bottom right, we have our man of the moment, the man of the scene. We have Gustav. Gustav's available on Twitter at GustavMTZ. How are you, Gustav? He's on Twitter. He's on mute as well. Let's take him off mute. And that works nicely. There you go. You should be on.
Finally. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. And I have to say that I'm sorry about the noise. I have to spend this night at the airport for some various reasons. But I'm so happy to be back with you guys.
And it's good to have you. We're going to come to you shortly, Gustav, so don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about your time in Stockholm in the press centre earlier this week. Before I do that, and last but by no means least, it is my co-host, the man of the hour, the very man himself. It is at Nutley1 on Twitter. It is Tom.
Hi!
How are you, my
Stuart.
friend?
Do you know what, Stuart? I am really excited. Already, we have a hive of activity of comments coming through. We've got 28 absolutely fantastic artists. I'm like, roll on February. Forget Christmas. Let's just keep going. Straight through.
Exactly. That's exactly what the Swedes do to you, isn't it? It's every time we get to sort of November, December time, we know this is coming. We know we're going to have 28 of the very best. Right. Agenda for the season. We are pretty much going to just get straight into it, but we are going to start by going back to Gustav, because Gustav was on the scene in Stockholm at SVT headquarters. He watched the press centre live, and we're very, very proud that ESC Fan TV were represented in Sweden, in Stockholm this year. Gustav, tell me about your experience.
Oh my God, I had so much fun. I don't know where to even start because it was so much happening. The fun started when I could start the interviews. Before that, I was just standing taking photos. I was kind of excited seeing who was on, but we have had rumors for several weeks, so I wasn't that shocked. What do you want me to say, Stuart?
So did you, who was your favourite that you got to meet out of the 13 interviews that you did, Gustav?
Take a guess.
Was it the lovely Anna by chance?
Yes, it was. Of course it was Anna. I took a few moments before I started my interview with her to fangirl a little with her. I mean, I came from ESC Fan TV, so I used that to my advantage.
So I've got a question come through on Facebook, so let's ask it. So question for Gustav: who got the most attention from the press at the press conference?
Yeah, Felix. Of course, it was Felix.
Yeah, and who was the other kind of candidate? Was it Hanna Ferm by chance?
Yeah, Hanna Ferm, and also Nanny Grönvall got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I can imagine. And just staying on that point, sort of, when you go to the press conference in Sweden for Melodifestivalen, are you aware of the acts before they come on stage, or is it a surprise to the press when the 28 acts are revealed?
Yeah, it's a total surprise. You have no idea. You get nothing before. So, but after you get a little paper with all the names of the songs and stuff like that, so you don't have to embarrass yourself too much.
and then the interview starts. So this all takes place in one room, for instance. Do you get a set amount of time that you're allowed to interview people? And I bet there's certain cues for certain individuals.
It's actually the same room that the press conference are. So you just like turn your back and then you are at the interview station. It was kind of a coordinated chaos. You had no time limits like that, but there was all the big like media outlets were there, and they were like to get to the point. So I started out with a little less common acts to get those interviews done, and then
Yeah, and a great job you did too.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to get straight into it. So let's talk about semi-final one. So semi-final one will take place on the 1st of February. Every Saturday, basically, in February and March is Melodifestivalen. And you know the drill by now. It's been the same for many, many years. And let's face it, everyone around Europe and sometimes the world watches it. Semi-1. So these are the artists. Malou is back with the song Ballerina. Felix is back. Felix, of course, was runner-up in 2018 behind his boy, Benjamin Ingrosso, with the song Boys Without Emotions. And this is where it gets tricky for me, because those who remember last year remember me completely dissecting and destroying the Swedish language. So I apologize in advance, and I'm certain that someone, probably Gustav, is going to help me out here and put me right. So the Inga problem with the band OVO. Was that okay? He's putting his thumb up. That's fine. That's good enough. The Mamas, of course, backing singers for John Lundvik with the song Move. Then we got the same song called Moves by Susie P. Sonja Aldén is back with Sluta aldrig gå.
Sluta aldrig gå.
Sluta aldrig gå. Here we go. Eileen, you speak Swedish as well, actually, don't you? She's on mute, she's forgotten. And then finally, completing the 7th song, we have Robin Bengtsson back 5th for Sweden for Eurovision a few years back with the song Take a Chance, which I'm reliably informed is not the ABBA version. So let's get into semi-final one. I'm going to bring Elliot in first. Elliot, you've been taking a keen interest in all things Melodifestivalen, and I'm keen to get your opinion and get your take on what you think will be the shakedown from Sweden Melodifestivalen semi-final one.
Well, it's your bog standard first semi-final where they've overstacked it with big recognisable names to get people watching. They do this every single year. I mean, you know, in a competition sense, there's no way you would put Malou, Felix, the Mamas and Robin in the same heat unless you want people to watch. So I at the minute, it seems those 4 are going through. In which order, I don't know, but you never know. A newbie could come through and shock someone. I'm excited for Malou. I really liked her song last year. She's been doing great ever since. She's been releasing music non-stop, which I think is fantastic. And, you know, she's got a very strong team behind her song this year, which is very exciting. Felix, I must admit, I'm not that excited about. Everyone has lost their mind on social media over FELIX SANDMAN. And to be honest, I find nothing to his music. I mean, I know he came second in 2017, but I didn't like his song then. The song title is a bit wet, and it can... I think with a song title like Boys with Emotions, the lyrics and the staging have to come across really perfectly. Otherwise, it could come across a bit of a parody, satire, possibly. I'm sure that's not the intention, but that's how it could be read. The Mamas, yeah, we all... Well, I definitely said they stole the show from John's performance. They were the stars of that last year, and I'm glad they're back. And, you know, they've managed to, you know, keep together and do their own thing. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting heat. It's going to be a strong one, and I'm not sure why Robin's back. I don't know how quiet he's been in Sweden since 2017, but it's very bizarre for me that winners of Melodifestivalen come back anyway. I know we do get 1 or 2 every year make a return, but it seems a bit pointless in my mind. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
And Aline, what is your take on the first semi-final? Who are your favourites?
My favorites are FELIX, the Mamas, Robin, and Malou. All the rest, I'm not really excited about. I also think it's very soon for Robin to come back. Very soon. But yeah, I'm very looking forward to the Mamas, to see them solo and kind of hear and see what they're making. And yeah, FELIX will do amazing, like always, I think. And Malou, I'm also very excited to see her progress as an artist. So yeah.
So I mean, it seems to me Malou and FELIX are virtually the sort of odds-on favourite for semi-final one. But Martin, I mean, we've got the Mamas back. They represented as backing singers for John Ludwig at Eurovision, so back only a few months later. Same for Victor Krone, but we'll come to him in semi-final 4. What do you think the Mamas are going to do at Melodifestivalen? Do you think they go in as being a sort of favourite, given they've just been to Eurovision, or do you think it puts them at a disadvantage?
It's interesting because they've been touring with John recently, and apparently they've got a Christmas concert going on, and they've released a Christmas When You Wish Upon a Star, which I played on my radio show last night. So they're going to be in the public eye a lot. I know that other acts will be releasing songs. I know Malou Pritz, I think she's just released one today. So I think they're going to be there. Whether they'd be sort of like direct to the final, I would probably be looking at that semi-final more, that maybe there'd be like a sort of second chance type sort of effort. But they're obviously going to add to the balance of the show. It's going to be great diversity. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them. And I had this feeling they were going to be at Melodifestivalen, or they were hoping they were going to be at Melodifestivalen anyway. So, by the way, whoever set up the intro, good job. I really enjoyed that. Malou Pritz's "I Do Me," since I played it last night, is continually in my head. So if Ballerina is anything like that, then she'll have a good chance of getting through to the final as well.
Yeah, thanks for making reference to the intro. Just a reminder to go and subscribe to @SimonNord on YouTube. So yeah, thank you, Simon Nord, for allowing us to use the montage of artist clips. Gustav, let's talk about your favourite. And I've got a feeling that you're going to be siding on the Schlager classic that is destined to be Sonja Aldean.
Yes, of course. I love Sonja's music. So I was so excited and happy when I saw that she was on. And that was probably one of the interviews that I looked the most forward to do. She has this like beautiful voice, and she's going to sing a ballad. That's clear. It's going to be a follow-up to one of her biggest hits, För att du finns. And I can't wait. I'm so excited.
And any other favourites?
Any other favorites? The Mamas. I am really excited to see what they're going to bring, because I think it's going to be explosive, and I think that they will open the show.
Yeah, I think they might as well, actually. I think they might. So just to confirm, because I did get asked that question on Twitter, actually. The 7 songs are there as they've been brought on stage. That's not the running order. They will choose a different running order the week before Melodifestivalen takes place, correct?
Something like that. It's 1 week, 2 weeks, it depends.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to come to Tom. Tom, I know this is your favourite subject. Let's talk about rap. Boy. So are you excited about OVO? You're on mute.
Oh, there we go. It's because I'm too busy reading all the fantastic comments we've got coming in. We've got loads of
That's
them.
your excuse.
Them up. Yeah, it is.
OVO. Rap for Melodifestivalen. Never does that well, does it? But could this be the year? Does Sweden need to modernise a bit?
Well, they do need to modernise a bit, but at the same time, you know, it's it's like getting the British public to vote for a decent Eurovision song. They'll go for what they want to actually, what they actually like. And the thing is, why doesn't rap do well in Melodifestivalen? And it's because the Swedes, have it there to basically have the variety. But at the end of the day, can I see it doing a huge amount? Not really, especially given the fact that semi-final is so strong. I mean, I think you've got the Mamas, who are going to certainly do something. I'd be surprised if they didn't actually get through. You've got Malou and FELIX and Sonia and Robin. There's a real danger that Ovo is going to end up, sitting in that bottom two, to be fair. Obviously, it depends on the songs. But, you've got that, you've got that at risk, really. I think they could get very much lost, shall we say.
Yeah, they could actually. I have to say, I think this is a semi-final that's set up for FELIX and for Malou. But I'm going to come across to Elliot, who's forever shaking his head at me. He's always got a different point to me. Let's see what he has to say this time. Over to you, my friend.
Well, I think we need to remember with FELIX and Robin especially is that the voting has changed since they last competed. And FELIX, Malou and Robin are fighting for that same age bracket. More so FELIX and Robin, they appeal to the same sort of demographic. And obviously now it's done 12, 10, 8, and not just the biggest number of votes wins. Are they going to cancel each other out and make the Mamas and Malou go straight through instead of them? I don't see FELIX and Robin going through directly. I think one is going to fall. And we need to remember, FELIX did fall into second chance with his song despite coming second. So I don't think it's as set up for FELIX, especially considering how strong this is. Like, Malou has her core audience. She will get the young vote. FELIX and Robin are fighting for that exact same demographic. And I think if not, Robin will get the slightly older vote and my age, and where FELIX won't. So I think FELIX is in more danger than people realise because the voting has changed. It's not a case of if I spam it, he will win. It's a case of you're in this one demographic now.
While we're with you, Elliot, I want your two names of the two acts you think will go through. I'm going to do this with everybody else.
At the minute, I am going to say Malou and FELIX.
Malou and FELIX. Tom, I'm going to come to you. He's on mute again. He's done it again.
Sake. There we go.
I'd expect better from you.
If I had my choice, Stuart, I wouldn't put my microphone on mute. And I'd also send the Mamas through to the final. And I'd send FELIX through with them as well.
Excellent. Martin, who would you send through from the semi-final?
I'd probably be going with Elliot, with Malou and FELIX. And probably having the Mamas and possibly Robin as some sort of second chance.
And I'm going to come to Eileen. What are your two picks? She's on mute again as well.
Is it good?
Yes, all good.
Okay. So my two picks for the final are FELIX and the Mamas. And for the Andra Jansen, or how do you say it?
Andra Jansen. Andra Jansen.
Is it Malou and Robin?
Thank you. And then finally, Gustav, the man on the scene.
It's my picks, right? So Sonia and Malou.
Sonia and Malou. That's great. I'm going to leave mine to the very end. Can I just make a point about songwriters? And I will come to Elliot, who's going to talk about songwriters a bit later on. The songwriter for the Susie P record Moves is Kenny Silverdick. And I have to say, I love that name. Anyway, moving on. Semi-final 2 in Gothenburg on the 8th of February. Here are the runners and riders. We have Linda Bensing. She's back. She's back with Alamina Sorger. Is that correct? Alamina Sorger. Who cares?
Alamina Sorger.
Song number 2, Dotter is back again. She, of course, missed out and qualified for from her semi-final back in 2018 with the song Cry. Anna Bergendahl, second year in a row now. She said she'd never do it again. Now she's back 2 years in a running with the song Kingdom Come. Torsten Flink with, I'm not even bothering. Gustav, tell us what it's called.
Wait, I need to check on my notes.
It's about miracles, isn't it? Mirror clearness teeth.
Miraklernas tid.
There you go. There you go. Correct pronunciation. Clara Hammerstrom with the song Nobody. Paul Ray is doing Melodifestivalen. Paul Ray, of course, did a duet with Snoop Dogg. And he is doing Melodifestivalen. Actually, I think I heard something about this a little while ago, but he's quite big, really, Paul Ray, with the song Talking in My Sleep. And finally, Mendes is back again with Alvaro Estrella. Remember him? He did it in the bedroom. He did it on the floor with Vamos Amigos. Semi-final 2. Martin, were you a fan of doing it in the bedroom and doing it on the floor?
I can't say tell you anything about that in public. So we'll stick to Melodifestivalen if that's all right. Yeah, it's. I mean, there's because I've just in case anybody hadn't got any clue about what's going on with Melodifestivalen. There's very good. Was it Gustav's expert blog on the SVT thing? That's where I've got lots of information from. It's really, really excellent. It helped me a lot last night on my radio show. I'd say for me, I mean, having Anna back again is amazing, and I'm loving the Fringe. Far prefer her having a Fringe, and she seems, looking at the interview, looking at Gustav's interview, she looks so much more confident, so more relaxed as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Anna went through direct this time, to be quite honest with you. And the other one that, from the background that I've been seeing a lot about, is Clara, because I mean, just from outside of Sweden, it just seems as though she's got a big presence there. I might be wrong, because she's this previous equestrian when she was younger, sort of got a bronze medal. Then she's been on a reality TV show. Then she's had 2 recent singles. So it just seems to me that she could be a surprise package, that maybe one of those, a bit like Malou last year, that comes from nowhere and ends up getting through to the final. I don't know. But those are the 2 I'd be looking at. And obviously Dotter, I'd like to see her do better than she did when she tried. When was that? A couple of years ago. And when
a couple of years, 2018. I'll tell you what, guys, I can't pick one here. I think this is the strongest semi-final, if I'm being totally honest. I think the race is quite open here. I mean, let's be honest. Linda Bensing, she's wonderful, but she's rarely qualified for the final. Anna Bergendahl, for me, feels she must have a great song to come back to do Melodifestivalen again, and I'd expect Dotter to be really, really strong. Elliot, what are your thoughts here? Take me through what you think will happen in Melodifestivalen semi-final 2.
It's a bit of a mess because I'm not allowed nice things, because Dotter and Anna Bergendahl are my 2 favourite artists in Sweden. So naturally they get lumped in the same semi-final, and they're both not going to go direct because that's just not going to happen. But yeah, I'm glad Dotter's back. I didn't think she was going to come back because she's entered herself as a writer in at least 4 or so entries. I mean, she wrote A Million Years for Mariette in 2017 because she does it through her real name, which is Johanna Jonsson. And she was offered that song to sing and she gave it to Mariette. And she did say afterwards she wasn't going to do it again. Krista basically said, will you please do Cry? And because of her result, I thought she wasn't going to come back. So she must have something very strong and something she must be very confident in to come back after being hyped to potentially win it and then place 6th in her semi-final. Obviously, over the moon, Anna's back. I didn't think she was going to come back. She clearly still thinks she has something to prove then. I'm hoping it's a continuation of her music, because she did Ashes to Ashes, and then her new single Home kind of felt like a follow-on from Ashes to Ashes with that same sort of vibe. So I'm hoping, again, it's kind of like carried on. Paul Ray, never heard of, but I'm excited to see what he does. Linda Bensing, yeah, kind of like what you said. It'll be cute, it'll be fun, it'll be happy, but I don't see it going anywhere. Mendes, I'm going to be blunt. I don't like his music. I didn't like him in 2018. How he made the final, if you hear his mic-only audio from Everyday, is beyond me. He was off the entire time. So he's clearly brought someone in to help him. Clara Hammerstrom, I haven't heard from her, but given like what Martin said in her back catalogue, she could be a bit like what Sigrid Benson was a few years ago, where she's tried all these different things and just thought, I'll give singing a go as well now and do Melodifestivalen, which could work for or against her. But yeah, it seems a very open heat because Paul Ray seems to be a big deal. I've never heard of him, but a lot of people seem to be talking about him. So, semi-final 2 is where we had the shock last year of Malou getting through at the expense of Margaret. So something like that could happen again.
Oh God, don't remind me about Margaret. I'm still getting over that. I was so upset. So upset. I loved her blue dress with the white pom-poms. Tom, semi-final 2. Is this Dotters to lose?
Do you know what? I'm Team Anna. That's the trouble. Anna Bergendahl all the way. I'm just like, I think it's going to depend on the song. I'm really with Dotter. I think you're going to get a solid, very polished performance, a solid song, and so on. But at the same time, I think having had Anna in last year, she's obviously back because she's got something special again. And seeing the reaction that she's had in various venues over the time as well, I think this could be her thing. A side note as well, I'm actually quite interested to see what Mendes is going to offer up, because I think that could be quite an interesting combination. I know Elliot will probably cringe at it, but I'm just a bit slightly... don't think it would do anything, but I'm actually quite interested to see what they will actually give. Maybe it could make Andra Chanson. Who knows?
Thank you, Tom. Aline, who are your favourites from this semi-final?
My favorites, Anna Bergendahl for sure. I really hope Dotter will do great. Lena Bergtsson, and I think Clara Hammerström will also be a secret surprise. So yeah. Also Paul Ray, don't know him. And I'm actually quite curious about Mendes and Alvaro. I don't know. I just hope it will be something fun. But yeah, that's it.
I'd just like to say, I've been told that I'm pixelated quite a lot today, and at least you can hear me, right? I'm sure you won't worry about seeing my face or not. So, hey, that's just, it's one of those things. We'll get the technology sorted out for next show. But as long as you can hear me, that is okay with me.
Serves you right for showing off with a green screen, Stuart.
What are you talking about? I'm still at the press conference with Gustav.
Yeah. You're not in your garden shed at all.
It's a studio. Anyway, Gustav, who's going to win? Who's going to be the 2 qualifiers from semi-final 2?
Anna is obviously going to be one of the qualifiers. She's the star of this semi-final. But it's so strong, so I have no idea who the other one is going to be. I have a gut feeling that Dotter is the one who's going to fall out, just like last time, and it saddens me really much. I think it's going to be Paul Ray, who's going to be the second qualifier.
Clara. Yeah. Did you say Clara? Sorry, just to confirm.
No, I said Paul Ray.
Paul Ray. Okay, yeah. Makes sense. Paul Ray. I mean, he is quite a big star in Sweden, and I think internationally, I mean, having done a few duets overseas in America, he really is probably one to watch. He strikes me as an artist who doesn't need to do Melodifestivalen. So yeah, very interesting that they've managed to get Paul Ray to do it. Okay, same question again. Who are the 2 to qualify? And we've got Gustav's. Elliot, who are yours?
I'm going to say Anna, purely because she's come back with the same songwriting team as last year, and she wouldn't unless she felt she could make the final directly. Again, ideally, I want Dotter, but only if she goes back to her previous pre-Melfest music. If she doesn't like Creatures of the Sun, which is how I discovered her, which is this great Florence and the Machine sort of vibe song, yes, and then she can win, that'd be great. I don't know. It's such a strong semi-final. In an ideal world, it'll be Anna and Dotter, but honestly, anyone can take that second spot after Anna, I feel.
Thank you, Elliot. And Tom, I'm going to come to you.
Do you know what, Stuart? Just because I can, I'm going to obviously team Anna. But do you know what? Let's throw it out there. Mendes and Alvaro Estrella. I reckon that would be fantastic to see them go fantastically through. Very likely to be Dotter, I'll be honest.
Tom, no one sees me drinking on stream, and that will happen if Mendes goes direct to the final. I will need to like gin to get through that show after what happened.
Challenge accepted.
No.
I've got a funny feeling about Mendes, actually. That could be an interesting combo.
It looks interesting. If you look at the profiles, you look at what they've been up to in terms of their discography, it does spark an element of curiosity.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Who haven't I been to? Martin.
Again, I'll be going with Anna because she looks supremely confident. I think she's doing it now because she's got this gap between finishing her medical degree and starting her training as a doctor. So I think when I interviewed her at Eurofest, it sounded as though she was going to have 2-3 years of concentrating on the music, and this is the next step for her. So I can see that, as people are saying, she's obviously got something special. I'd probably see her directing the final. And as I say, Clara, I've seen her sort of some YouTube footage of her singing live, and I think she might surprise people, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is the surprise this year, then she goes into direct to the final.
Thank you, Martin. And last but not least, Eileen, who would be your 2 picks?
Yes. So my 2 picks are Anna and Dotter for the final.
Wonderful, wonderful. There you go. So,
Stu, could we just point out,
Yes.
just read the comment on the bottom from Facebook. Gonna buy some Swedish SIM cards just to give Elliot a fun time.
See, the problem is now I've committed that online for the world to see. It's gonna happen. So in 3 months' time, I'm gonna look like a total idiot. Can't wait.
I'll buy you the bottle of gin. There you go.
I don't even like gin. I don't know why I said that. But if he comes 7th, I'm gonna laugh at you all.
Not gonna happen. Not with the amount of Swedish SIM cards that everyone's now buying.
right, shall we move on and take a look at semi-final 3? On the 15th of February, we have a couple. So this is interesting. This is where it gets interesting. So you've got P4 Nasta candidates Faith Kembo and Amanda Asa. And I can't work out. I still haven't got my head around this. If Amanda won P4 Nasta, why is Faith Kembo in it? Maybe Gustav can tell me, because I can't work this one out at all.
She actually sent a song and they got accepted that way.
Okay. So okay. Fair enough. That's a bit of a cheats way though, isn't it? she didn't win P4 Nasta, so she just sang the song anyway.
I think it's going to be a good song. I listened to her new single and it was really good, so I have hope for Faith.
Yeah. Okay, then we've got Albin Jansson's back with Leave It Boreanu. We've got, oh my goodness me. Can you pronounce the band name? And the song. Thank you.
Drängarna and Piga och Dräng.
Perfect. Then we got Mariette's back. Mariette is back, finally. We thought it was going to be last year. It wasn't last year. She's back with Shout It Out, and I've got a sneaky suspicion about this one. Anis Don Demina are back with Vem Arsem Os, and Mohombi is back for the second year running with the song Winners. So, Elliot, let's start with you. Talk me through semi-final 3. Who are the favourites?
Semi 3 going on previous is normally, for lack of a better word, the weakest heat. It's the heat they kind of like purposely make weaker so definite people get through, like your Robin Benson and people like that. So it seems pretty odds on from namesake alone that Mariette and Mohombi are going to be the 2 to qualify, just because they have the fan base and they have the strength already there. Like, Mariette's, made the final 3 times in a row without worries. Mohombi got through last year. It seems pretty, set. They're the 2. Amanda Asa, I like her voice. She seems lovely. The wildcard's never done well. They've never even got to Andre Johnson, so I'm a bit worried for her. I would love her to get through because she seems really lovely. Like Gustav, I've heard Face have a song. She's got a great voice, and she said it's going to be a ballad, what she's singing. So that does make me quite excited. I'm looking at who's actually wrote that song as well. So I hope for Faith, because, again, she gave off a really sweet, positive vibe yesterday when Gustav spoke to her. So I'm feeling, up for it. Jolan Garner, they're an interesting one. I mean, going from that clip at the start of the show, they're who knows what we're going to get with them, really? Who knows? There's always one group that's a bit of like a Schlager wildcard, and I think that's them. And Anis Don Demina, well, him and Albin, they're both sort of like in the sort of like mid-tempo rap sort of genre, so I'm surprised they've been paired off against each other. I don't know if they're going to cancel each other out, or one's going to get through and one's not, but it seems odd. I'm glad Anis Don Demina has actually come back, because obviously last year he paired up with Ziana and came fifth, and he got a lot of online bullying and hate for it, and mostly about his appearance as well, which he spoke very publicly about. So I'm glad he's been able to, get past it and is willing to go through it again despite the negativity he got. Because that song last year was fantastic, and it was a shame they did miss out. But yeah, I think it's Mariette and Mohombi to lose, to be honest.
And Dragana or whatever they're called, they remind me of a bit of Austin Medreston from a few years back. Who remembers them? I listened to some of their songs today. Can I just make the point? I only listened to 2. That was as much as I could do. And it reminded me so much of Austin Medreston. And that song, Maria, do. Remember that one? No, just me. Okay, I remember it. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, let's move on. Martin, you've got something to make. You've got a point to make about P4 Nasta.
Yeah, because strictly speaking, neither of them won. Amanda was second and Faith was third, because the way the P4 Nasta works is that they don't automatically pick the winner. There's a jury linked to Melodifestivalen who pick who they want to go. So there's been, I think it's about 3 or 4 years was the last time where the winner actually went. So Amanda was second, Faith was third. In fact, I liked Faith's song more than Amanda's there. Amanda was actually, was it Gahem or however you pronounce it? She was the only one who sang in Swedish. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, so ironically, you've got 2 people from this year's competition, the radio competition. So double the chances of them getting through, as Elliot said, to maybe the first time they'll ever make it out of the semi-final. There's a chance. As for the rest of them, I'd probably agree. Mariette and Mohombi, I would be saying sort of cast on certainties to get through to the final. The rest of it, I mean, I don't really know. The band, because I seem to remember reading it said 25th anniversary. That might be the reason why they're doing Melodifestivalen this year. Will they get a response like Havagana had in 2019 and get through? Maybe not, but obviously Gustav's shaking his head, and so that's probably a no. But it's just a thought anyway, because they've obviously been around for a long time. If they could get their fan base motivated, at least they might be able to have another go in second chance, possibly.
Yeah, I'm not expecting them to be another Alfingana. I must admit, it's not the same sort of thing. They are a lot more kind of. Do you know what they remind me of? Actually, just thinking about this, what was the name of the band that the cowboy band from a few years ago that had that hit in the 90s that everybody still dances to today?
Rednecks.
Rednecks. They're like the
Cotton Eye
Rednecks. They're like the Rednecks, but more Schlager based. Gustav's probably thinking, what the hell's he talking about? But they remind me of the Rednecks, a mix between the Rednecks and Austin Medreston. I agree. I think this is Mariette's and probably Mohombi's to lose. Aline, do you agree or disagree or have a different view altogether?
I totally agree with you guys, and also think it's Mariette and Mohombi for the final. And for the semi-final, I think it will be Faith and Amanda. Albin, I never heard of him. Drengena, yeah, also don't ring a bell. And Aris Don Demina, I only know him from the song with Eric Sade, and I didn't like his part. I liked Eric Sade's part, but didn't his part. So yeah.
There is a theory here. There is a theory that given what Martin and Elliot have said, if Mohombi and Mariette have the 2 best songs in Melodifestivalen this year, there is a theory that they've been placed in a semi-final where they stand out the most, which gives them the best opportunity come the final. Gustav, are you expecting a strong performance from both Mariette and Mohombi this year? And could they be the 2 to contend for the win in Stockholm on the 7th of March?
I think they are going to perform the hell out of that arena, but I don't think that they will be contenders for the win. There's stronger names in the other semifinals. However, I think that it's smart from SVT to have this like weak heat after two really strong heats. This time we don't have to hold our breaths during the results. So I think that's a good strategy actually.
And for those who don't know, Gustav was live from the press conference this week with ESC Fan TV. Make sure you go and check out his video that we launched earlier this week. Thank you for all the love so far. All the interviews from the press conference. We were only one of very few international Eurovision medias present, so make sure you go and check that out. It was also Gustav's first time interviewing, and he had a ball, and he did really well. So go and give him some love. Let him know what you thought, and yeah, I'm sure he'll appreciate lots of nice comments. Also, for those who are watching live, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Periscope for Twitter, or whether you are on YouTube, give us a like. Make sure you click that like button, and also leave us a comment on the YouTube page. Plus, most importantly, click subscribe. Guys, finally, I think you're all going to say the same. I think we've kind of done this. I'm going to assume everyone's going to say Mariette and Mohombi. What I'm going to do, rather than go to you individually, can someone put their hand up if they disagree that they do not have Mohombi and Mariette winning this semi-final? Oh, look! Tom wants to be different. What a shock.
It's because you never asked me for my opinion, Stuart. You asked everyone else but me. And
Do you know why that is? Because having known you for way over a year and working with you every day, I know you inside out now. I know exactly what you think at every moment of every day.
Come on then, guess. Guess who I think the wild card is.
So based on last year, based on your performance last year, my friend, I'm going with Dragana as being one of them.
And you'd be wrong. Because the one that
you say that, but let's wait until February, March rolls around, and you will definitely be supporting these guys.
This is true, but the one I've actually got my eye on actually is Aniston Demina.
Yes.
Who came 5th last year, and I think could actually do something. And also Albin Johnson as well. I think both of them have a chance. I'm not saying they're going to do something brilliant, but I think they could, with the right song. I am very much on Team Mohombi, though. Mariette, not too bothered about. But Mohombi, wouldn't it be great to see him go out across the Netherlands?
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought Mohombi was great last year, and I thought Mariette's first two entries were fantastic. I wasn't struck on For You, though. Just putting that out there. Yeah. But actually, she did a song recently, which I thought was really, really good. Time to Spare. Go and check that out on Spotify. It's probably one of her better work. Okay, so everybody else, bar Tom, everyone bar Tom believes Mohombi and Mariette will qualify. Tom's basically just given 3 other names just to throw into the mix there and be difficult. So let's...
yeah, but you see, Stuart, when we watch this back, right, in like 2 months' time, and one of those don't get through, I've got a greater chance of being right.
That is true. But I'm sure the last year you picked virtually every act of every semi-final as well. So this is obviously a strategy you've developed over time.
A winning strategy, I'll have you know.
Clearly is. Guys, don't forget, show us some love. Make sure you click the like button. We're going to move on to the final semi-final. Semi-final 4 from Malmö on the 22nd of February. This is really where it kind of hits big, doesn't it? We've got Hanna Ferm returning this time as a soloist with the song Brave. We've got Nanna Grönvall returning with Carpool Karaoke. Can I just say now, because I want to get this out of the way before somebody else does. If Nanna is not on stage with James Corden, I will be absolutely fuming. For those who don't know, Carpool Karaoke is an international show performed by the British comedian, he's not a female, is he? Comedian James Corden, and he does a show called Carpool Karaoke. Nanna Grönvall and James Corden on stage. I'm calling it now. William Street with the song, it's another one, isn't it? Go on, Gustav, what's it called?
More news.
More news. Jacob Kjellberg with Om du tror att jag saknar dig. Yay!
You had to get one right.
I had to get one right in an hour's show, didn't I? It was going to happen. Ellen Bengtsson's back with Simon Paynen with the song Surface. Then we have Victor Crone returning to Melodifestivalen 6 months after his Eurovision performance with the song Troubled Waters. Boy, that guy likes storms and water and all kinds of weather-related songs, doesn't he? And then finishing off semi-final 4, we have Frida Örn with We Are One. So, semi-final 4, usually one of the strongest semi-finals in Melodifestivalen. Martin, what's the lowdown on semi-final 4, and what do you see happening in Malmo in February?
Well, for me, there's obviously one standout name, and that's Hanna Ferm. And as for the rest of them, there's obviously Nana Granval, who's the sort of person. It's unusual this year because there's not that many older acts. Most years they've been seeming to send people who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s years old. But I would have said, looking at it, that she's about the oldest one that's there. I mean, somebody might want to correct me there.
I would like to bring back Carlson, Hansen and Malmqvist at some point, but that's just another story.
Fair enough, yeah. I mean, as for the rest of them, I can't see another clear second person that would go through as we've been saying in the other semi-finals. I think there's potentially a lot of there could be one out of 3 or 4 of the others that could go through with Hanna Ferm. I mean, Victor Crone is obviously looking to get through to Eurovision for I don't suppose it's ever been done with one act who's performed successive years for different countries, but I can't imagine it's going to happen. I know he is, because he is Swedish, isn't he? And apparently Storm was popular in Sweden, but I would assume that he's doing Melodifestivalen more to improve his sort of profile within Sweden, a bit like how Krista Siegfried and other Eurovision acts who have come into Melodifestivalen have done that.
To be fair, if you think Storm was popular in Sweden, you wait till he starts singing about Troubled Waters.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Well, as I say, I still didn't think he was particularly brilliant live as Eurovision for us, and he wasn't really that brilliant live at Estee Lau either. Just personally speaking, so I would be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me in a way if Victor Crone didn't actually get through even to second chance. It could work that way. I don't know. Nice guy and all. As for the rest of them, I know about Ellen Benedictson, obviously from previous, that she was a stand-in. When was that? That was at 2013, technical stand-in, and she's been at Melodifestivalen since. So they could do it. From what I understand, Jakob Karlberg is very popular in Sweden. So yeah, I mean, I think it's Hanna Ferm plus one of the others, and it just all depend on what their songs are like and how they perform, really.
I'd just like to say, because you've gone in hard on Victor Crone there, Martin. He is a friend of the show, and we wish him the absolute best.
He's a great guy, but I just don't know. He never came across as being that confident with his performances, anything in Estee Lau or at Eurovision. Nice guy that he is. So
I think you have to think sometimes with Melodifestivalen that you border on with all these other national finals, Estee Lau being a good example, that it's very Eurovision. It's a Eurovision show, but Melodifestivalen is about relevancy in Swedish music scene, isn't it? It's part relevancy in Swedish music scene, but it's also Eurovision. And that's why you think of Margaret last year. Margaret was really open that she did not want to win Melodifestivalen. She did not want to go to Eurovision with Sweden, but she still wanted to take part. So coming out of the semi-final probably wasn't an issue. And with the thousands and thousands of people that watch this show every year, including all the semi-finals and Andra Chansen, I don't think it really matters. So I'm going to move on to Elliot. Elliot, is this Hanna Ferm's to lose?
It feels like it, because she has said in several interviews she is coming with a very up-tempo song. And looking at who's wrote the song, it looks like this is going to be a female pop banger with someone young who can sing very strongly. What's not to love with that? And she's been saved for the end. The winner normally is from semi-final 4. So Hanna Ferm looks like it's set to go through. The other one, I think it is a definite, and I think that's Ellen and Simon is going through. You know, Ellen's been away for a few years. She's worked very hard on her music. Look, again, I'll delve into this a bit deeper. The songwriters on that song are very strong and have done some very successful songs. And, you know, she has kept herself busy. You know, she's wrote Michael's new song as well. And they're both fantastic singers. So I think Surface is going to be something very different that Ellen has sent to Melodifestivalen and Simon. And, you know, last year, a duet came third and were very close to winning because Sweden, it feels like Sweden want to change it up a bit. So I wouldn't be shocked if Ellen and Simon actually win this heat over Hanna Ferm if the song is strong enough. And I think it is. This is a song I'm probably most excited for because I'm very intrigued by it. So I think it is Ellen Benediktsson, Simon Pearlin, and Hanna Ferm going through. To be honest,
we're going to talk about songwriters very shortly.
I know.
Given Mitchell was in the chat room, I just want to make reference that there is actually a Laurel Barker song in this semi-final.
Yes.
And it is Hanna Ferm that will be singing it. So we'll get onto that shortly. So Aline, who would be your picks from semi-final 4?
My picks for semi-final 4 are Hanna Ferm for the final and Jacob Kalber also for the final, and then William, how do you say it? Strieder? I don't know how to pronounce it.
William Strieder.
Yeah, for the Andra Hansen and Victor Kroon for the Andra Hansen. All the rest, I don't really think we will do well, except for Ellen Benediktsson and the Simon. But I'm just waiting for the song and the act. So yeah, we'll see.
Thank you. Gustav, I want to come to you about Ellen and Simon. You've got a couple of points. And before we get on to that, can you just tell the little funny story about somebody stepping on your toe in the press conference, which the viewers would love to hear?
Yeah. Sorry. Laurel Barker walked right on my foot during the press conference. And then she was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, it's you. It's fine.
Thank you. And Ellen and Simon, what you think that they're going to do well in this heat?
I really want them to do well because actually I made an interview with them too, but for some reason it didn't record it. And they were so lovely and made me feel like I was part of their group. Yeah, they were just lovely people, and I know that they both sing very well. Ellen kind of failed when she went back to Melodifestivalen with Insomnia, but that's another story.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tom, so I know we've got a load of comments in the chat room and we've got lots of questions, which we do need to get to. We are not ignoring you. We've just got so much content to get through this evening. It's been such a big week for ESC Fan TV. Thanks to this man down here who, where is he? He's kind of there, isn't he? No, he's not. I can't remember. There we go. There he is. He's down. That's Tom down there. There he is. Tom, so first of all, who do you think is going to do well in the semi-final? Who's qualifying? Who's going to second round?
It's got to be Hanna Ferm, hasn't it? Let's be perfectly honest. She was the darling last year with that fabulous duet she did. And I can't see beyond her to actually go through directly. I think she'll win that semi-final as well. The interesting wild card will be Victor Kroon, but the thing is, if that song is not distinctive enough, then he is going to get lost. And there's not going to be any fancy CGI graphics as well to help him out either. So, you know, I think and I agree, we've got Joanne in the chat room who reckons that he's a candidate for Andra Chanson, and I think that is absolutely bang on. I think where I'd have to go is probably, as much as it pains me to say this, is agree with Elliot and say that Ellen and Simon will probably take the other spot in semi-final 4 and go straight through to the semi-final. One small point though, regarding Nan Grosvenor and Carpool Karaoke. Let's not forget Carpool Karaoke started off in Gavin and Stacey, which is back this Christmas. And maybe he's going to appear on stage as Smithy if it actually has ever reached Sweden and Sweden knows what we're talking about.
I was going to say, do the international audiences understand a word you've just said?
For all that slowly, please no.
Gustav's shaking his head, and Martin looks like he's about to have a breakdown. So I think,
yeah, he just loves James Corden, as we saw in the chat. Before you go on to comments and stuff, and Anna Grunwald, I think she's come back. She's written the song with her husband, Peter Grunwald. I love seeing couples on stage, by the way. They came on hand in hand, and I thought it was really, really cute. I think Nana Grunwald has got a banger here, and I loved Hall on May. I was actually in the final in Stockholm watching that fight. That was when Alcastar were there. You could be an Alcastar. Remember that one? And I was there and I loved it. And I think she's come back with a really, really good track. Probably a banger this year. And I think she could do very well and maybe make the final along with Hannah. I think it'd be Hannah and Nana. Anyway, back to you, Tom. You've got a lot of comments.
Yeah, I've got some questions. Alexander Lundberg, if you have to pick an artist that may have the chance to go directly to the final across all semi-finals, so if you could take one artist and before it's even started, go, right, you've got to buy straight through to the final, what artist would you pick? Oh, such a fantastic question. I'm going to go straight to Martin. Who would you put through straight to the final?
Well, I suppose you'd be looking at somebody who you wouldn't think was going to be there under their own steam, if you know what I mean. In fact, I'd probably go for one of the people. I'd go for Amanda Assad, because people asked her just to basically break this jinx that they've never got further than their semi-final with whoever's qualified from the people and us the route, and I'd put them direct in the final, and then you go, right, there you go, we've had one, and that would probably actually move that radio competition forward as well. So
interesting take. Elliot, what do you think? One act, send it straight through?
I'm going to go the same sort of vibe that Martin went there and say, someone who I think needs it more than anyone. I'm going to give it to Faith, because she comes across really lovely. She's got a stunning voice. I've just got this fear that this is a ballad that people, for some reason, aren't going to click with, whereas I think I'm really going to fall in love with it. So I would put Faith through.
Okay, same question, Aline.
If it's my pick, I would choose Mariette, because I just love her. She's amazing.
Okay, Gustav?
I'm going to say Anna, because I need to save myself the stress from having her maybe not qualifying.
Oh, and finally, Stuart.
Who do I want to qualify direct to the final?
Yeah.
No, just one name, Tom. It's the obvious, isn't it? It's the only name that really matters. It's Dolly Style. Yes!
They're not in it. You've got to pick one that's there.
Dolly Style. Let's move on. Dolly Style.
Okay.
Dolly Style.
Let's move on to the next question then. This question is actually specifically from Gustav. It's from Stu Eurovision. Stu Cameron, good evening to you. A really firm supporter of ESC Fan TV. Were the writers available for interview 2?
They disappeared right after they had been on stage, so sadly not.
Oh, that's a shame. And then finally, and I tell you what, we'll do this as an old-fashioned poll amongst you all. Right, what would Eurovision prefer to see? So what would you prefer to see from Sweden this year? A male artist or a female artist? Hands up for a male artist. There's the tumbleweed. And hands up for a female artist. Think we're all in agreement. It's got to be the females' year.
Yeah, 3 of them. Dolly Style. Yay!
Stuart, you have a problem.
I'm assuming the wig is not gathering as much dust as it should be.
I had to give it back.
Oh, never mind. Anyway, other fantastic comments going on. Big hello to loads of people out there. Alexander Lundberg, Nicholas Norgard, Stu Cameron, Joanne, Mitchell. Hello to everyone. Big wave. Rest of the panel will wave as well. Even Stuart. Exercise. There we go.
I'll wave even harder if they click the like button, Tom.
This is true. And back to you, Steve.
I think we're almost there, Tom, actually. So we've kind of been through the 4 semi-finals. I think really there's only a couple of things left. You've done the whole, is it going to be a woman or is it going to be a man or is it going to be a band even winning Europe? Well, I kind of haven't done that, but it could be. But I think the question that I want to know is about who are the potential winners amongst the songwriting camp. And the question that has to be asked, Tom, the question that's on everybody's lips is, where is happened to Frederick Schemper? What has happened to Frederick Schemper? Over to Elliot.
Well, from what I can see, Frederick Schemper hasn't wrote a song, so he's clearly been locked in a cupboard. Also, Linnea Deb, who wrote Heroes and normally gets about 3 or 4 in the final, she hasn't submitted anything this year as well, so she's clearly taken a break. And her now ex-husband, Joy Deb, only has 1 song in the selection as well. Laura Barker, like I said, only has the 1 song as well, so that's very low for her. The one with the most entries is Jimmy Johnson, who has 6, followed by Thomas Gearson, who has 4. So they're clearly, not busy over the summer, just writing songs.
I miss Jimmy Johnson as a singer, actually. I miss his little cheeky face. I kind of just want to grab his little face and play with it. I miss him. I remember Amanda from a few years ago. That Tom rolling his eyes up at me. I don't think I didn't see that.
Other things of note, 20 acts have had some involvement in their entry. They are listed whether it's on music or lyrics within the entry, which is quite high out of 28 at 20. So quite impressed with that, to be honest. And also one name I did pick out is Melanie Webe, Whebe, who's wrote the Mamas song. She wrote Bigger Than Us and was one of Michael's backing singers. So she is back as well, doing this as well.
How interesting.
Yes, I met her. I met her in Tel Aviv. Lovely
she was
lady.
the short one with jet black hair, if no one knows.
Yes,
she was the
yes.
tiny one with jet black hair.
Danish. She's Danish.
Yes,
lovely,
she's
lovely
Danish.
lady. Lovely lady. Thank you for that. So I think all that's left is for us to pick a potential winner. I think we've kind of done that, Tom, but do you know what? I'm going to do it again. Because, at the end of the day, we've got all these singers that we thought had come through from our top 2 from every semi-final. So out of our top 2 from every semi-final, let's pick the one artist we think will do the best. So, Tom, I'm going to come straight back at you.
One artist I think is going to do the best. Are we talking basically the one that I would send to the Netherlands?
No, yeah, to the Netherlands. Yeah, you've picked 8 singers tonight, or 8 artists. Oh. Who have your 8? If you can even remember them, Tom, I bet you can't.
Stuart, of course I can remember my 28. Do you know what? The one I'd love to see go back would be Anna Bergendahl. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen for her. So I reckon Malou Pritz.
Yes, good choice. Eileen. Hello.
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 Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good.
Come in, Belgium.
Yeah. No, the one I really want to go to Eurovision personally is Mariette, because it also has to be a woman. And the one I think will go to Eurovision. This is a hard one. Maybe, I don't know. I would reckon maybe FELIX SANDMAN. I don't know. It's a hard one. Yeah.
That's what he said. Elliot.
You're a child, Stuart. Out of the ones I said, I would probably go with Dotter because I really think she deserves it. Do I think it's going to be her? No, and I do have my conspiracy theory as to why, which I can entertain later on. But for me personally, Dotter.
We'll come back to you shortly because everybody wants to hear your conspiracy theory. Last time it was about Victoria and the bathwater and the bed. I can't remember. It was funny. I know I used it as a clip. It was really good. It was almost as good as Martin drinking a cup of tea a few weeks back. Martin, who would you pick from your 8?
It's a difficult one. I think Hanna Ferm's probably going to be the one of the strong favourites, but I must admit, I've got a suspicion or a feeling. I'd like to think that Mariette might actually do it this time. just purely because of the staying power, but getting not quite as many times as Sanna Nielsen, but getting there. But also the fact that she always seems to bring amazing staging to everything as well. So I think Mariette's probably got a good chance this year.
And Gustav. So yeah, you saw all 28. You saw him coming on stage. If you were to pick one winner now, who do you think will win? Not who you want to win. I know you said Anna Bergendahl's your favourite, but who do you think will win?
I think it's going to be Hanna Ferm, actually.
Hanna Ferm.
I have that feeling.
Yes. I can't wait to meet her in the Netherlands next year, or in Amsterdam, or in London. Just saying, Hannah, I'm coming for you. Elliot. Talk to me about this conspiracy theory. What's on your mind, my friend?
Right, well, this is a tweet that I saw from someone called Lady Genevieve yesterday, who normally goes out to Melodifestivalen every single year. She's not this year. But
Lady Genevieve.
Yep, that's her online name. She knows the producers and whatnot very well in Sweden. Zayn and Dennis Blanchet have staged the last 3 winners of Melfest. So the last 3 years they have won Melfest as staging directors, and they are working on 4 songs this year, which are Robin Bengtsson, Anna Bergendahl, Hanna Ferm, and the Mamas. So they always bring staging which the public love and vote to win. It feels very geared up for Hanna Ferm to win then. She's got the writing team, she's got the song, and now she's probably going to have the staging to go with it, because these are, Dennis Blanchet and Zayn, they do a lot of work for TV, like a lot of televisual performances and whatnot. They're not staged, they're not plays like Edward Ostillen. These are 2 who purely work on TV. So they know what they're going to do. It's probably going to be something very impressive. And the fact she's been saved for semi-final 4, I'm expecting something big. So I think the theory is that they're saving it for Hanna Ferm to win. Because I know Krista has before said that he wants a female to win, because Ace Wilder has come out and said that he wants a female to win. So I think it's Hanna Ferm's now, based on that as well. I find it very interesting that those 4, with dedicated fan bases already, have got the top staging duo in Sweden doing their song.
Interesting conspiracy theory. And I'm not going to... Gustav has just gazumped me with something quite incredible in the chat, and I don't think we should really share it. Should we share it, Tom? No, he's shaking his head. Maybe for another time. Maybe another time. Maybe if you're good and you give us tons of likes, maybe Gustav will drop a little note into the chat of this show at some point. Anyway, guys, we've got 1 hour and 15. It's probably time to say good night. It's been a really fun show, actually. Make sure you click like. Make sure you leave us lots of nice comments. And very importantly, make sure you go and give Gustav all the love he deserves on his interview video. And I think Gustav's going to be about doing some more stuff for us on the ground in Sweden, in Stockholm, surely, and probably some other places too. You'll be able to see ESC Fan TV all over the place next year. We'll be popping up here, there, and everywhere. Tom,
it's bigger, Stuart.
It's bigger. Hashtag bigger. Tom, is there any further comments in the chat that we should read out before we say goodnight and go to bed?
Do you know what? Aside from Nicholas saying that someone needs to help you get to a Dolly style concert so you can live out your dream, that's Nicholas in the chat. There we go.
The thing is with that, right? I did see it and I chose to ignore it. And the reason I chose to ignore it is that Dolly Style is now a franchise. And there'll be a franchise in the UK, there'll be a franchise in Belgium, and probably Sweden, not Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and whatever. So yeah. So I could be the next member of Dolly Style. I just need to have a shave and get a better wig.
Oh God.
Well, maybe. Maybe that's all you need to do. Do you know what, Stuart? Why don't you just tell people what's coming up next on ESC Fan TV?
I would, but I don't have a fucking clue, Tom. What's coming up next?
So, of course, the big news, everyone, is that this weekend sees the Estee Lauder songs dropped. Phil and Michelle, the golden couple of ESC Fan TV, are beside themselves and many bottles of alcohol in eager anticipation of this. And they will be gracing the panel in our next show. Times to be confirmed, I do believe, unless Stuart's going to surprise me with a time. But that is our next show that we're going to be back for. Obviously, we're massively excited to see what can trump Vozinzi Katzen.
Photosynthesis, yeah, absolutely. What? Or the guy with the twanging beard. You know, there's going to be some great songs in SD Lau. There'll also be some really great songs in FIC, because FIC is around the corner. Everybody knows that FIC is for Christmas, and Martin loves a good FIC, and he cannot wait to review all 20 odd songs in Albania and give his opinion on the songs he likes best. And why do we ask Martin to do it? Because to be frank, no one else can be bothered. So we can't wait. We can't wait. Hey, it's fair and true, right? So thank you very much for tuning in. It's been great. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Martin for stepping in. Thank you, my friend. Stu can never be part of Dolly Style. What? Hang on. No, forget Martin. What's going on screen? Stu can never be part of Dolly Style. Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
Well,
I demand names.
Well, I tell you what, I'll give you a clue, because I think the same person has also put this. So I think we're going to say a very big hello to Phil and Michelle, who are obviously watching.
Great. Go to bed, Michelle. Hello, Phil. Martin, thank you very much. You can catch Martin on the Let Me Be the One blog and radio show. Make sure you go and give him some love, because somebody has to. And we've had.
It's a great show. I recommend people tune in.
It is.
Tuesday nights, 8 till 10 GMT.
And where can they find you, Martin, more importantly?
Well, the radio show is on Bradley Stoke Radio, so it'll be bradleystokeradio.com/live between those times on a Tuesday evening.
Wonderful. And we've had Eileen from Belgium. Go and check out Eileen's blog. You can catch her blog at her Twitter account, which is Eileen, is it DRM? At Eileen DRM? Yeah. So make sure you go and give her some love. We've had all the way from Stockholm, the man on the ground, the man of the hour. It's been Gustav.
Oh, am I supposed to say anything?
So you like? You going home?
I am fine.
Thank you, Gustav. Just want to say a big thanks again for your hard work this week. It's been really, really proud of having you as part of the team. Thank you very much for your support. And of course, to my left, it's we've got Elliot.
Thank you. I can't wait for my predictions to be wrong in 3 months' time. And Nicholas, I know that was you about the Swedish SIM cards. If I'm going down, I'm bringing you with me.
And,
he's admitted to me now, so it's Nicholas said he's going to do that, so I'm on to him.
Yeah, you can catch Elliot at ER Harris 76. No idea why the 76. He's definitely not from 1976 or 76 years old. Maybe that was a mistake when he was typing in his Twitter handle.
If you must know, it's my favourite number, so I just stuck it in there.
There you go. Thank you, my co-host Tom. Tom at Nutley1 on Twitter.
Yeah, thank you very much, Stuart. Fantastic show. And just a quick apology to Nicholas. I did try to keep your comments anonymous, but unfortunately, Elliot's obviously got the spies out. But I'll keep the bottle of gin on standby.
And
whether it'll be full, I don't know by the time it gets there, but it will want to be a bottle of gin.
And thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Really appreciate it. Go and give us a lot of love. Leave comments. Press the like button. Rewatch on Periscope for Twitter. You can just watch that whenever. And the same on our Facebook page. Go and tell us what you thought about the show. Give us your feedback. We do take it on board and we try to improve. There you go. 4 semi-finals. Fantastic lineup in Sweden next year. It's all systems go. It's Eurovision 2020 has officially started. We will see you very soon for SD Lau and Albania. It's bye-bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.